Welcome to Ken's Korner Podcast, Season 2. It's time. Are you ready? Now here we go with your host, Ken Judge.
Hey everyone, it's Ken from Ken's Korner, and as promised, it's April. It's almost playoffs time, and back with me is Mr. Paul Hendrick. How are you doing today, sir?
Hey, Ken, thank you. 6 hours time difference. I have had the privilege and pleasure of staying in Madrid for the last couple of months and have really enjoyed our time, given what you guys have experienced in Southern Ontario in terms of weather. We've missed that, and it's pretty much been sunny and high teens here, or sunny and low 20s every day. It's really, really comfortable, not overly warm. But it's a place you'd like to be at this time of year. July and August, it's a different story. It's quite hot. You wouldn't want to be here. A dry heat, but it's still really hot.
Well, I'm a little jealous on that. We're in the middle of a back end of a storm. I'm surprised my internet's not a little patchy as well, sir. So I want to ask you a question. Are you headed down to see some Blue Jay games when you do land back here in Toronto?
Without a doubt. And I've watched all but one so far between St. Louis and Kansas City series. And I'm really excited about this club, a little disappointed with the way they've started. But let's be honest, it's a 162 game marathon. It's not a sprint. And all teams are going to go through dips and dives. And this is just too talented a team. And to see the fifth man in the rotation last night do as well as he did is really quite good. We know Gosman's going to be great, and we know Manoah is going to be great. The question mark might be Barrios and just where he's at right now in terms of the speed of his pitches, and hopefully, considering they've got him under contract for another 5 seasons, he's going to come around and find himself in that starting 5 as far as the pitching rotation is concerned. But a little unsure of where he's at right now. But again, it's easy, it's early, and to answer your question, I'm going to be spending a lot of time down at the ballpark.
Awesome. Do you expect Ryu to be back with us this season?
Well, probably in July, and I mean, he's hell-bent on proving that he belongs with this team. They spent an awful lot of money to get him here and really start the rotation up yet again. And you just go on what you hear, and it sounds like mid-July at some point. And given the way a season goes, they're going to need all the bodies they can get to get them where they want to go to. And hopefully, he's going to be able to figure in prominently as maybe a starter on the lower end at some point. And we'll just keep our fingers crossed, given how far he's had to come back after missing all of last year.
I really hope he is back, because he was one of our best when he was clicking for us there. I love your insight on the Blue Jays, but we are here to talk about the Maple Leafs and our chances heading into the playoffs. How are you feeling about our team right now?
Well, I don't want to jinx them, but I was on your program a year ago, and you asked me the same question, and I said Toronto in 6. They should have won the series in 6 damn games. I mean, a couple of brutal officiating calls, and I don't want to sound. I mean, I could say it objectively. They were awful calls, and they tipped the direction as to how that series was going to go, especially in that third period down in Tampa. That said, I think it's going to be Toronto in 6 again. The difference with this team compared to last year's team is the goals against and just the fewer quality chances that opposing teams are getting. This current version of the Maple Leafs does not give them that much. Now, they're not scoring as much as they did last year, but I'd take less offense for more defense, because I think ultimately defense is what is going to win you a series and ultimately a championship. That said, it's going to be tough. And I'll tell you, Ken, you look at the highs and lows of seasons. The Edmonton Oilers, who were the dregs for a good chunk of the season, all of a sudden are flying high. Tampa dragging their heels. Now they are flying high. Boston's just been steady as she goes, and other teams trying to find traction. I apologize for that. But we're in downtown Madrid. But great city, by the way. Safe city, fantastic city. But anyway, to get back to where you're at, I think Toronto's ready. I like their lineup. I just hope Ryan O'Reilly is going to be able to contribute. This is just 4 weeks after breaking a finger. And the other guy I'm glad to see back in the lineup is Noah Cherry. I think he's going to be so important to what that bottom six does.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious as to what Sheldon's going to do with his top three lines. There's talk about William Nylander playing on the third line. That's an indication of how much talent this hockey club has. It's not a matter of loading up a line or loading up two lines. They can do a pretty damn good job with three lines and even present a fourth line that's got some offensive potential. So I like it from that perspective. And I think we're seeing the defense starting to take shape now. And it looks like Luke Schenn is going to be in that top six. Looks like Timothy Liljegren, maybe seventh. But it doesn't matter as the series goes. And if the Leafs do go deep this spring, we're going to use all of those guys because they're going to need them.
That is true. And actually talking about the bottom six or the bottom line, I'm really liking what Zach Ashton Reese has been doing for us lately. And congratulations to him to get into his 10th goal.
Yeah, and he was a guy that the puck always sort of bounced off his stick, not really known for his offensive prowess. And I'm still not convinced he should be known for his offensive prowess, but he goes to the net and the puck will find a way to him. And regardless of what appendage on his body it bounces off of, if it ends up in the back of the opposition net, then all be it. They're not going to count on him for the offense, obviously, but yeah, as you say, good for him for hitting double digits and goal scoring right now. And he only helps out. And in a must-win game against Columbus, I hate to term it like that, but you've got to beat those teams to keep yourselves in the distance between they and Tampa, because I really think home ice advantage is going to be important. I know they lost it with home ice advantage last year. They lost it to Montreal. But that said, it's an advantage. And if you can secure it, then damn well go get it.
I agree. Now, with Ryan O'Reilly heading back into our playoff lineup, do you foresee anything, or do you like Sheldon's use of the 11-7, 11 forward, 7D?
No, I think he's had to go that route, to get all those D some action. Otherwise, you're sitting a whole bunch of guys game to game. That said, I don't think the D like it because they're not in on a regular basis, especially if you're not one of the top four. And it's hard to get into a rhythm. As far as the forwards are concerned, well, a few guys are getting a lot of extra minutes. They certainly like that. But I think it's a regular season thing. I think come the postseason, we're not going to see that. And he's going to revert back, obviously, to the regular 12-6 format, which I think just works for everyone's benefit. And you're going to have guys who are just not skating or playing on a regular basis. And that's just the way it's going to be when you're playing possibly 7 times in 14 nights. That said, given that schedule, there's a good chance you're going to see a few of the guys who maybe aren't playing regularly, but injuries are going to dictate otherwise, and such is the playoffs. So to answer, 12-6 is the way to go. 11-7, I think, is a regular season thing, and I think Sheldon gets away from that in a couple of weeks.
That makes a lot of sense, sir. Now, with Matt Murray getting that bump on the head, I guess I want to call it. I'm not sure they're saying it's a concussion or not, but what is our goaltending? How do you see that? Are you worried about that now?
Well, it'd be nice to have 2 goaltenders, but that said, a year ago, it was Jack Campbell and I guess Peter Mrazek, and I wasn't exactly confident with the alternative if Campbell were to go down, and I don't think Jack cost Toronto the series last year. So that said, I think I'm very happy with the way Ilya Samsonov has taken charge. It's a free agent season for him, and you'll get inspired efforts by players who are UFAs, and Ilya's certainly been outstanding. I'm very confident with the way the club has learned to play defensively as a whole in front of whatever goaltender that he's going to be more than good enough and hopefully healthy enough. We've still got a couple of weeks to go before the postseason starts, and And I'm hoping that Matt Murray is going to be able to get back. But, as Sheldon said, with a head injury, you just don't know. That said, Joseph Woll's been pretty damn good playing, behind that group in front of him who play inspired hockey. And even when your big guns aren't going, you get the Zach Aston Reeses and the Kerfoots, and those guys have managed to contribute. But overall, I think they've done a good job of minimizing the shots on goal, the dangerous chances inside their defensive zone. And I'd prefer not to see Joseph Woll in a playoff situation, but if he were to come in, given the team in front of him and given how well he has played, I'd be happy with that. But I think it's Ilya Samsonov's playoffs and his to lose. But it'd be nice to have Matt Murray as the backup. We'll see if that's going to happen, because right now we don't know.
That is true. Now, you've already answered my question on your playoff prediction for the Leafs. So we're not going to go there. I agree with you, Leafs in 6. Let's go to the Western side. What do you see coming? Let's try and name a Stanley Cup finalist from that division.
Well, they're plotting out the parade route in Edmonton right now, and I don't blame them. They've got two of the premier players on the planet. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has come in. He's been outstanding as well. Probably one of the more underrated players in the league, just given that he plays out west. And I know a great deal of Eastern North America doesn't always get to see him play, but he's a fantastic player.
I believe he got his, I believe he got his 36th last night. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're right. And, and he's just a seasoned veteran, and Zach Hyman doing what he does to complement all of those guys. And Zach's one of the best people going. So I'm happy for him. I'm still concerned if I'm an Edmonton fan about Stuart Skinner as a rookie and where he slots in. But it looks like they are going to go with him, and why wouldn't they? And still some questions with the defense. But you see what Edmonton did in Los Angeles last night and how well Darnell Nurse played. You know what it's like, in terms of defensemen in Toronto, when Leafs Nation picks out their D-men that they don't like, they go after them with a vengeance. And such is the case in Edmonton as well. And Nurse has been the recipient of a lot of their wrath, but he was outstanding in Los Angeles. And if they get some consistency there, they've got a chance to go to the final, at least the Western Conference final this time around. But I think it's going to go through Colorado. And you talk about a team that's navigated injury and finally starting to gain some traction. And I think they're the team to beat. And I think if they get in the final, given how well things have gone for them, they could end up winning it again. And I would never have said that, say, a month ago, or certainly 6 weeks ago, but Colorado could win the cup again. And I think Edmonton's got an outside shot of getting to the championship. I don't think they're going to win it, but they're definitely on a bit of a roll. They will go as long, I think, as Stuart Skinner will take them. As great as, Draisaitl and McDavid are, and Nugent-Hopkins and Zach, they're going to get shut down at times, and it's going to be really difficult in the postseason. And it's defense and goaltending that are going to win you series. I don't know if Edmonton has enough. So my pick out west is going to be Colorado to go back to the cup, possibly win it. It could be Colorado-Boston. What a hell of a series that would be. But in my heart of hearts, I'm hoping it's Colorado and Toronto.
Yeah, that's for sure. I was actually going to ask you to touch on the Boston situation. I'm hoping for a first place curse in a first round knockout from a hungry 8th place team. But what is your feelings on Boston?
They've just blown me away. I had no idea they were going to put together the season they have. I know it was a rough start. McAvoy, Marchand, a couple of key guys on the injury reserve list, but they managed to tread water and have not missed a beat. They are solid lines 1 through 4. They're big, they're strong, they're hard to play against. And, if there's a surprise, I guess it's been their power play, which hasn't been necessarily great. But come the playoffs, you don't want to give them a chance. And David Pastrnak with the new deal, getting paid what he should be getting as one of the premier right wingers on the planet. He's another guy, and their goaltending's confident. Listen, if they're to lose, Ken, first round. What an upset that would be. I would love a Toronto-Boston second round series and an opportunity to slay the dragons of history past. It would be a tremendous achievement for the Maple Leafs because for Boston, they are the odds-on favorite to win it, deservedly so. And the window of opportunity, I think, slams shut after this season, given the age of Krejci, Bergeron, and just where they're at with that group of centers up front.
I agree 100% on that, sir. I do know that their goalie Allmark, although he's having a great season, he has very little experience in the playoffs, so that might be something, hopefully, and maybe an upside in a Toronto-Boston series. I guess we get our first shot at them tomorrow night in Boston tomorrow night, which is Thursday. This will be released next Tuesday, but we are right in front of a Toronto-Boston game and conclusion to the season. So thank you so much, sir, for coming on today on Ken's Corner. Today I've been on with Paul Hendrick, and he's been graciously to give me his time for third time now, sir. Thank you so much. And I am still chasing Gord Stellick up and around Air Canada, the Scotiabank Arena. He says he does have some time coming up for me. So thank you for letting me know about his corduroy coat, sir. You have a great day, Paul.
Yeah, muchas gracias, and hasta el próximo. Until the next time, Ken. Look forward to doing it yet again.
Yes, sir. And goalies go.